Hey dudes, how we doing? Hope you've been well. A little bit less so. I did have something pretty cool planned for this video. Unfortunately, it's not going to work out. I'm going to have to do something a little bit different. There was a little bit of an accident in the toy room. There was a little bit of damage. Look, basically, I've just been left with a pile of shattered glass.
Welcome to HamMan's Halloween Shattered Glass Spooktacular!
So, for anyone nerdy enough to be watching this, but not quite nerdy enough to know the deal with shattered glass, it was part of BotCon's 2008 figure run. Like every BotCon would do a set of figures, and it was fun because they'd be different and weird. But shattered glass was one that really resonated with the fandom, and it's a thing now. It's its own legitimate thing. Mainline. Alright, that's enough Halloweeny shenanigans for me. I'm from Australia. We don't really do it here. That said, I did grow up on Treehouse of Horrors.
Don't blame me. I voted for Kodos.
And all of our TV is pretty well American, so I get it. I get the Halloween thing, and I just wanted to feel a part of it. But, that's enough of that. Suckers. Oh, it's not where I needed you. You're the worst. Luffy. I guess it works with the Halloween of it all, I suppose. So this is how it kind of stands at the moment. This is what we've got by way of the heroic Decepticons. And this is what we've got by way of those evil, evil Autobots. With the exception, of course, of Jetfire. Jetfire is coming. Or maybe he's out by the time I get this out. Who knows? Bad guy! There is also, obviously, the Optimus Prime and Ratchet that was kind of like a proof-of-concept test run, I guess, to see if they could pull off a whole shattered glass dealio. I didn't pick him up because I've got enough of that Optimus, really. And I don't know, Shattered Glass Prime just doesn't really do it for me. There's not enough that's different. At least with this crew, you got a few little twists and turns in the bag. You know, not any kind of M. Night level twists and turns, but there's some good stuff in there. So let's take a look at them all individually and work our way through these doppel dudes. Hey, everybody wanna kick some ass? I gotta admit, I'm liking him way more than I expected to. There's a lot of character in this face. Look at that grin. You wanna know how I got these scars? I honestly think that's better than the 86 series head sculpt. Right? I feel like it looks way more like Blur than it does James Van Der Beek, and I don't know about you, but for my money, that's a big plus on a Blur figure. No disrespect to Mr. Van Der Beek. You know, whilst Blur is quite the athlete, this isn't Friday Night Lights. That head sculpt is all that's different about him. I do really like adding black into the mix of his paint scheme. I think it works well. I don't know why, but it kind of gives me Tokyo Drift vibes. Let's go ahead and peep him next to regular, plain old, boring old 86 Blur. Ugh. That face, man. That face. There's just something so classic about Blur's color scheme, but this is sitting really rich. The plastics they've used have a real deep hue to them. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's have a look at the next nefarious Autobot ne'er-do-well. I really like him. I think this almost might be my favorite version of this mold to date. The colors just work so well. And that gold bug head shouldn't work in that color, but it really does. It really does. Is it just me, or is he throwing off some big Joe Pesci in Casino energy?
And you better kill him, because he'll keep coming back and back until one of you is dead.
You hear something? Can you hear something?
I don't know. If anyone out there has shrugged this off as, another one? I don't know. If you've only got one other, if you've only got Cliff Jumper and one other Bumblebee, maybe, if you didn't bother with Bumper or Bug Bite, or maybe you're into these guys, but man, either way, this Shattered Glass Gold Bug is a super welcome addition to my collection. Ugh, he's so mean looking. You could almost have a lot of the Shattered Glass guys just be like a real remote outpost renegade band of like Autobots who've been out in the wild too long, forgotten how to live. All I know is hate. By way of accessories, he comes with the big ski gun jump bump thing. I gotta say as well, this version, this Gold Bug, Shattered Glass Gold Bug, this is the first time I've really felt like he owns this weapon, right? Like, this guy would have this gun, no doubt. Like, if you've watched my Worlds Collide box set, I think you know how I feel about that Bumblebee's version of this weapon. But this is sick. This is like some DLC stuff. Yeah, wise guy, eh? Alright, let's have a look at him next. I guess the Worlds Collide Bumblebee was not only the closest, but it is, you know, the same mold. Boring. Awesome. Boring. Awesome. Hi, my name's Bumblebee. Who are you? Bumblebee? Man, that's a stupid name. What's your name? Goldbug! I mean, not to harp on about the Joe Pesci thing too much, but if you take him and Blur together, they do look very much like they're about to go and ruin a Robo Macaulay Culkin Christmas.
I grease the floor!
First up on the heroic Decepticon team, we've got Starscream. Look at him gleam, it's kind of like some kind of peppermint fever dream. Is that a haiku?
Garth, that was a haiku.
I really like this. I like this a lot. This kind of Jetfire deco really suits him, suits this mold. Also, is it my imagination, or is that a slightly more scowly than usual face?
Hero is hard.
Does Shattered Glass Starscream, in an animation context, still have the same gnarly, I'm clearly a bad dude Starscream voice?
Save the children. Freedom is the right of all sentient beings, mighty Megatron.
Go home, Starscream, you're drunk. With the whole, like, Jetfire paint deco homage that he's rocking here, that's actually a big part of why I didn't want to pick up Shattered Glass Jetfire. Like, he's big, it's big, I don't have room for another Jetfire, to be honest. But also, if Starscream is colored like Jetfire, I really feel like Shattered Glass Jetfire should have Starscream's traditional paint job. That is something I definitely could have gotten behind. I would have bought that. So I suppose without having to do a new head as part of your tooling budget is where the Voyagers in the Shattered Glass, in this Shattered Glass run, get to have, you know, a bit more fun accessory-wise. And to that end, Starscream has this pretty radical sword. Like, some Transformer swords can come off a little generic, but I feel like, you know, this is instantly pretty iconic, right? With that weird pommel. Now, part of the reason for that really unique and iconic pommel is that if you want this one sword, it can be two swords. That's right, it has twin pole action. I have noticed, at least on my copy, and do shout out in the comments below if you have this figure and yours is any different, I have found that his hands are just a little bit too snug for the pommel of this sword to go in smoothly. Given that it's clearly just painted plastic, I am a little bit concerned that with the passage of time, the more likely you are to scratch some of that red paint off onto his fist and have, you know, some of the see-through coming through. So, you know, just be aware of that. Whoosh. I like it. Even though he's a good guy, I think, like, you know, Starscream's still Starscream. So it does feel very on point to have a blade that, first you think it's one blade, then when things aren't quite going his way anymore, pshing, biggity bam, dual wield, baby. Here he is alongside Siege Starscream, who I did go ahead and swap out his head with Thundercracker, just because it makes way more sense for Starscream to have that smirk than it does that grimace. They do play off each other quite nicely. And let's just have a quick look at Hotlink, because Hotlink also has that scowling mug. I don't know, am I crazy? That looks like a much deeper frown than that. Maybe it's the extra paint apps on Hotlink. And lastly, just because it's a lot of fun, here he is alongside all my other Seekers.
You got the wrong man. General, you recognize these? Very fine handicraft. Too bad I'm not a jeweler, and I've got no money. Otherwise, I might buy them. They look really valuable to me.
The king treated you well. Why do you betray him? What do you want?
So I'm hoping that you agree with my running order and, like me, feel that the best of the set has been saved for last. Even from like the original BotCon Shattered Glass run, that Megatron, the heroic Megatron, was the only figure from that set that I really wanted, because that Energon Megatron, like the figure that was the basis for Shattered Glass Megatron, that we're trying to get a little bit of an homage to here. Ugh, really trying. I loved that figure. That figure's a dope figure. This color scheme sort of really isn't a huge departure for Megatron, I don't think. Like, it almost looks like it could just kind of be his, like, Marvel Comics coloring. I'm surprised they haven't released a version like that, to be honest, like with a blue head and stuff. The face sculpt does suffer a little bit from that sort of same thing that Hot Link does, where the enamel-y paint is a little bit too heavy for the subtlety of the sculpt, so you do lose some of his features in there, but I do love those deep-set blue eyes. And then the other black bits, same as his helmet, they're done in like a really nice matte paint that sits really well against the plastic. And it's not got that horrible pearlescence to it, it's like a really nice color. All the apps on this guy are sitting very crisp and feel great. Red socks. So by way of extra accessories, we do get these wingy bits to kind of help fill out the look. I'm imagining they go this way when we get to vehicle mode. And he also comes with this that I swear he must have borrowed from Ape Face. It's a shame you can't kind of do this kind of thing with it. That would be sort of fun. And you know, he has this behemoth as well. Megatron! Love that blue finish on your Mega Gun. Pow! All of his articulation and his tolerances and everything feel really good. Just as posable as ever. The head is also the tighter version, so you don't feel like that's wiggly wooing all over the shop, which is great. And he's got the nice tight ankles. They do click in, but they don't feel like they're going to get floppy anytime soon. So, you know, way to go on your heroic tolerances. I do like the big sword and the shield. It kind of gives him a bit of a paladin-y kind of feel, I reckon. Shielding the weak from tyrants that would do them harm. For Paylor! So by way of comparison, there's two that I want to do. Firstly, let's get him in there with Kingdom Megs. This is fun. The matte is really different against the metallic, and they're both just way sicker than the original grey. So, you know, everyone's getting a glow up. Oh, I wonder if... Let's see how this looks. I like that. No longer Megatron the Paladin. Now to me feels like Megatron the Barbarian. The second figure I want to go and have a look at, oh yeah, is the forebearer of this mold that this is homaging, but like not really, because it's from a different series. I just like this Megatron. I wasn't sure if he's ever gotten any screen time on the channel before.
It's my time. It's transforming time.
This is the only vehicle mode really worth talking about to any degree, and even that degree will be a minor degree. It looks like the family sedan version of Luke Skywalker's land speeder. Like, I guess they've tried to give him some kind of flying alt mode. It looks like, honestly, like a third-party add-on kit to be like, look, you can do this. And I was like, yeah, well, that's a clever idea. I guess maybe if I had a 3D printer, I might do it myself. I'm certainly not paying money to take a cool looking tank and turn it into this. But that's exactly what I did. Thanks for trying, Hasbro, on this one. I suppose I could have waited for them to properly do like a leader class version of that Energon Megatron. That's a good use of the Legacy line. Do that. Just wait. They should have waited. Done it properly, waited, done this. Because, this is very average. These guys have no real difference other than, I don't know if this is meant to be battle damage or if Shatterglass Blur is vain enough to have these lightning decals painted on himself, but not vain enough to fix up his own eye. Which I guess makes him a little bit of a sociopath, which I guess is what they're going for. So, sparkle away, you crazy bastard. I will say, this version of this mold definitely has the strongest tolerances of any version that I've played with. I'm glad he's not been pooped on. Because, you know, the splodges, it kind of looks like scoring, but when you see him sitting next to a clean version, it just feels like someone really should write "wash me" across the window of this cockpit. I do also think it's quite cool that you can get these blades to stick underneath. Just adds a little something extra to that alt mode.
Ting! Sky Slicer. Oh, I'm Starscream.
And then lastly, Goldbug with Cliff Jumper. Look, this is cooler, right? If someone was like, "You've won a car, choose one of these two," you're choosing the black one with the gold accents, hand down. No contest. Vroom. So yeah, that's the gang and vehicle mode. Not a hell of a lot that's new, and what is new is a bit like New Coke, and it's not going to catch on. Oh my god, that alt mode is so fetch. It's not catching on. On Thursdays, we only half transform. Ha 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 ha! I'm just laying down. Freaks. And with that, our Spooktacular comes to a close. Thank you to everyone who's hung in there and stuck it out and made it to this point. What did you think? Who's your favourite? Have you got any? Are you gonna get some? What do you want? Let me know in the comments, and be sure to like and subscribe for more spookerific content. That was terrible. Please subscribe anyway. So, thanks for indulging me, nerds, and I'll catch you on the next one.